At ease. It's your boy Solo Immortal. Guys, I'm sure that the far majority of us have been in some shape, form, or fashion of toxic relationships. And I always talk about relationships that are toxic due to, generational curses and all that. But today I want to strictly talk about relationships that I deem to be toxic strictly due to an imbalance. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, they really all end the same. When you come out of these toxic situations, either you're gonna be, the guy that's steadily craving that ex, or you're gonna be that guy that's steadily trying to replace her with something else. But I'm telling you guys, there's a formula to fix all of that.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
See, the first thing you need to understand, or the first thing you need to know in order to get over this situation, is you have to understand what's taking place. You know what I'm saying? Now, I don't know how long I've been saying it. For the last couple of years, I've always said, I've always talked about the hierarchy, right? And I've always followed that up with saying you should never fall in love with a woman. And again, a lot of people take that the wrong way. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't love a woman. I'm not saying that if you get you a 5% woman that you shouldn't, take care of her or provide for her, or protect her. I'm not saying you shouldn't, spoil your woman and do nice things for her. I'm not saying that. You should love your woman. But when I say you shouldn't fall in love with the woman, I'm simply saying you should never let a woman's energy, fill your cup. In other words, you should never let a woman's energy, get into the space that's strictly meant for your essence. You're tied to the creator. A woman's energy should never get into that part, because once her energy gets there, that's when the imbalance comes in. And that's what I'm talking about. Now, what takes place when her energy gets there is, one, you're gonna be running on a lower grade of fuel. You know what I'm saying? Instead of running on that 93 from the source, now you're running on that 87 that your woman is pouring into you. So now you're not gonna perform as good as a man, right? And you're gonna become aggravated. At the same time, your woman is gonna become aggravated, because it's not in her nature, it's not in her position to be filling that cup for you. It's gonna be draining both of y'all. So what's gonna happen is y'all are gonna eventually go separate ways, right? And that's when the cycles will start, right? Because once she leaves your life, now you have this void. Where that 93 should have been the whole time, where she had this 87. Now that that's gone, now you have this gap you have to fill. So what do? Not knowing what's taking place, you're gonna do one or two things, right? One, you're gonna steadily be craving this woman's energy, because you got to think, her energy was in that sanctum sanctorum, right? So you're gonna be craving her. And this is normally why I end up talking to guys about this. This is the point where guys usually call me up. They'll call me up and say, man, my girl is gone. She's been gone for, 2 weeks, 2 years, whatever. And I still can't get over, man. Like, she still has this pull to me. It's because you don't understand what's taking place. You don't understand the power you gave her by giving her access to this part that she didn't even want access to, right? So you'll be craving her, and I can go down that story, how that plays out, how you're consistently pouring your energy into her. Even when a woman has moved on, she could be in a different relationship, marriage. If she still has that tie to you, brothers, you're still pouring your energy into her. So that's when a lot of guys have this void. They can't perform, that their life is going downhill, and they don't know why. That's reason number one. So the guys that don't do that, what they'll try to do, if they go a different route, they're trying to fill that void with another woman. These are the brothers that are saying, okay, you know what, I had a bad woman, and they'll sit there and get another woman, and the same thing will play out. Then they'll get another woman, same thing will play out, and that's why I say the cycles have started, right? But I'm telling you, there's a formula that if you just stick to it, will undo all of that stuff. So what's the formula? The formula is, first you have to find your true source of fuel. Again, like I said, man, you've been allowing this woman's energy to be your fuel for so long, and now that it's gone, now you're in this crazy this crazy space. You have to find the true source of fuel, and that's simply a matter of finding self and finding source. And a lot of brothers ask me, well, how do you find source? Source has to be sought out. Source is all around us. That energy, that knowledge is all around us. It's always around us. But it's not until a man seeks it until he can find it. You know what I'm saying? One common practice that I always talk about is first just separating yourself from everything else. You have to separate yourself from everything that taught you to be the type of man to want to feed off of a woman's fuel. So shutting everything down, going into that place of silence, like we always talk about, and then just seeking knowledge, man. Find self, go within, read books. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, if a man would just spend, 45 minutes to an hour a day, reading certain pieces of literature, and his life would change drastically. He would obtain so much knowledge, man. So pick up a few books, go within, meditation, just sitting still, listening to self, listening to that higher voice, man. That's how you find source. But you have to understand that once you start doing these things, you will start filling your own cup. You know what I mean? You will start feeling that vibe with yourself and the creator. And I'm telling you, brother, you'll become a completely different being. You have a completely different mindset. You have a completely different, posture about yourself. And that's where a man is supposed to live. Going back to the hierarchy, I say, a man should never break the hierarchy. It's source, it's you, and then everything else falls below. And you have to understand, like when we talk about, your cup running over, that runneth over is what everyone else is to feed off of. At no point in time should a man let his cup be subject to going down or be subject to being contaminated. So fill your cup, and that excess, that's what the rest of the world, that's what everybody else feeds off of. But you can't risk contaminating your cup, guys. The second part of the formula is to recast the mold, right? In other words, you have to understand that the way that you have been moving for, however long a period of time you've been in this cycle, you've always created yourself based on a woman being in the picture. You know what I'm saying? And you don't really think about how huge that is, but if you've always, created your life or always with a woman in the picture, or always considering a woman filling this spot, you're a completely different person than you should be. So when I say recreating the mold, again, it goes back to just sitting still and say, you know what? How would I move rolling solo? How would I move on my own? And this is what puts a lot of guys in the nofap zone, and hey, I don't want to date for a while, I don't want to do this. That's when a guy goes into a state of finding self. You know what I'm saying? And recreating that mold. I can remember when I went through that stage of just defining who soul was, man. And I was like, man, you know what? A lot of the things that I do, a lot of the places that I frequent, a lot of the people and that I entertain, I said, that's not even who I am. I said, it's not even who I am. I said, that's always being based on me having a woman in my life, or me having a certain person in my life, man. Once I just sit still and say, you know what? Who am I? Not only who am I, who do I want to be? And created that mold and poured into that, brother, that's life changing. You know what I'm saying? It's life changing. That's when I say, you know what? I'm the brother. I want to see the world. I like the simple things in life, man. And it became who I am, who I was. You know what I'm saying? And then it's just a matter of that world, whatever comes after that, fitting into my mold now. The other day we had a power circle meeting. The power circle meeting is like a mastermind slash iron sharpening iron session we have every week on Patreon. You brothers need to check it out. And there was a brother on there, man, brother Dwight, cool brother, man. Now this brother, he's been on there for a while. Brother haven't said 2 words the whole time. He just sits back in the cut and observes. And he's talking about his life. He's talking about this cycle that he was in. He's talking about coming out of it, right? He was talking about going through certain type women back in the days and just in other words attracting low vibrational women. Then he talked about stepping away, finding himself. He talked about the red pill. He talked about all that stuff. And he said when he finally, recasted his mold and created this new version of himself, when he opened his eyes to the world again, he said, man, I was attracted to a completely different woman, and he was talking about how he met his, the young lady he's with now, how crazy the situation was. And while he was talking about her, she walked in and she looked at the camera and said, hey, and we all talked for a sec. And it's just crazy because he was talking about these exact same steps. So I'm telling you, brothers, this is a formula. I'm telling you, it's going to get old. It's going to get old. And the thing is, a lot of us go through these steps or these cycles, rather. We go through these cycles for several years and we'll put it under different names. We'll call it a rotation. I got a rotation of women. It's like, nah, brother, you stuck in a cycle and you don't understand it. You're trying to fill a void. And the thing is, you don't know what to call it. You don't know how to diagnose this thing. So you want to put it on the plus side. Oh, I just got a rotation of women. I'm telling you, man, I'm not saying that a brother, whatever stage in his life is that he shouldn't, date in a healthy manner. But to live your life with the plethora of women that and where none of them are fulfilling you, not filling your void, but fulfilling you as a man that aren't serving their purpose, brother. That you're in a cycle. You're in a cycle, and I'm telling you guys, there's a formula for this. So first, just identify what it is, man. Identify that you are in this thing. Identify your source of fuel and simply recreate yourself.